They thought they broke us, but they only made us stronger. That's the line that echoed in my mind as I watched this week's new episode of The Handmaid's Tale. Episode 8 of Season 6 pulls no punches and dives straight into the chaos, heartbreak, and long-awaited revenge that's been building up all season. And let me tell you, it delivered. The Uprising is finally here, and June Osborne stands at the center of it, leading the charge. In a bold and symbolic move, she dons the red handmaid robes again, not as a sign of submission but as a uniform of rebellion. "These were the clothes they gave us to enslave us," she says. "Now we're using them to liberate ourselves." That line alone gave me chills. Watching June quietly walk among the enemy while orchestrating a plan in secret was masterful storytelling. One of the most powerful moments? When she saw Nick, but chose to keep walking. That single, quiet decision said everything. She was done with him. Done with the betrayals, the past, and choosing her cause over conflicted love. Especially after Nick prioritized saving himself, resulting in the deaths of many girls and Jezebels. That was the final straw. June's plan was precise and devastating. From the handmaids receiving their blades to branching out and eliminating the commanders who enslaved them, it was deeply satisfying to watch. She made her way to Commander Bell's home and ended his life in brutal fashion. Through the eye. That detail was poetic justice, considering how he abused Janine, who had lost an eye because of Gilead. The moment was swift and shocking, but I wished it had lingered just a bit longer to show the struggle. Still, when Janine simply smiled and said, "Thanks," it was all worth it. That moment of relief said everything. Meanwhile, Serena's arc took a devastating turn. The episode began with her wedding to Commander Wharton, a grand royal spectacle that masked the darkness beneath. At first, Serena appeared almost hopeful, but within hours of the ceremony, her smile faded. Back at their home, Wharton revealed his true nature, another wolf in Commander's clothing. He treated Serena not as a partner but as property, forcing her to remain in the home, asserting control, and even bringing in a handmaid on their wedding night, despite Serena's ability to bear children. His words, "Your place is here," echoed with the same sinister tone we've heard before. It didn't take long for Serena to see that she'd been deceived again. She called the marriage an abomination just hours after the vows. She may have thought she had control this time, but the harsh reality hit fast and hard. At the wedding reception, Serena tried to position herself as a progressive leader, telling the handmaids their future would be different under her watch. She claimed she and June were friends now, even suggesting that June had forgiven her. But the truth? June hadn't. As we saw in the previous episode, June made it clear she wasn't ready to forgive Serena. Her delusion was clear. Maybe Serena believed what she said, or maybe she wanted to believe it. But her actions later in the episode did show sincerity. She told off Gabriel to leave and even insisted on calling her by her real name, Christina. That showed a sliver of the old Serena, the one who struggles between power and humanity. The real heart of the episode, though, came with Aunt Lydia. Her transformation has been slow, painful, and complex. This episode pushed her to the edge. It began with her spotting June at the wedding, immediately sensing that something wasn't right. When she realized none of the handmaids had eaten the poisoned cake, designed to knock them out, she raced to the Red Center, desperately trying to account for every girl. That scene, filled with tension, had me holding my breath. Even more than the blade passing or Serena's speech, it was this moment that could make or break the revolution. And then came June's confrontation with Aunt Lydia. What a moment. With Janine by her side, June laid the truth bare, that Lydia had been an enabler of cruelty, that her teachings brought pain, not salvation. "You did this," Janine whispered, and the weight of those words shattered Lydia. For the first time, we saw her acknowledge the horror she'd helped sustain. She turned to Janine and said, "I'm sorry he hurt you, dear." And that moment broke me. The pain in Lydia's face, the trembling lip, the way she held Janine. It was a scene of reckoning. one she'd needed for a long time. By the end, Lydia sat alone in that empty room, praying, lost, unsure of where to turn. Her loyalty to God, to Gilead, to the girls, it was all colliding in her heart, and you could feel her questioning everything. With Lydia set to appear in the Testament spin-off, this shift in her character could be the beginning of a new path for her. One of redemption, maybe. Or further ruin. Back to Serena. She left Wharton, taking Noah with her. There's a strong chance she'll now turn to Commander Lawrence, who's been somewhat of a protector. Through him, she may learn of the uprising and the danger ahead. That will likely force her to pick a side, once and for all. Visually, the episode was stunning. The image of the handmaids in blood red walking in formation through the snow-covered landscape was striking, silent, powerful, and symbolic. The first 10 minutes had almost no dialogue, relying on atmosphere and June's monologue to set the tone. It was one of the most gripping starts to an episode in the entire series. One moment of dark humor, Commander Lawrence telling Naomi to eat more cake so he wouldn't have to deal with her at home, was so on-brand and offered just the right touch of levity. The performance that stood out the most? Definitely Serena. The raw emotion she showed when confronting Wharton was haunting. You could see the betrayal, the pain, and the hopelessness all at once. She sold every moment. With only 2 episodes left, I honestly don't know what's coming next. But I suspect a full-on battle is near. The army might be closing in, and the fractured state of Gilead means this revolution may finally succeed. This episode was powerful, emotional, and beautifully executed. Perhaps the strongest of the season so far. And if this momentum holds, the finale could be unforgettable.